All right, so we found out earlier today, we just touched on it, that San Diego State is going to start a home-and-home series with Gonzaga this upcoming December in Spokane. An amazing series for college basketball fans. Two of the premier programs in the country, the two top programs in the West, will meet. Home-and-home series beginning in December up in Spokane. We've got Chris Acker, San Diego State men's basketball assistant, back with us here, John and Jim. The all-new San Diego Sports 760. Coach, it's always our pleasure. We know about the Gonzaga series that's coming up. Just in general, how critically important is it to put together the right non-conference schedule when you start a year and you have hopes of getting to an NCAA tournament? How crucial is that non-conference schedule?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, guys. It is definitely crucial in the sense that you want to have a great non-conference schedule so that you are giving yourself every opportunity to get an at-large bid going into the decision-making time where the committees are going to decide who's actually playing in the NCAA tournament. And so, thankfully, over the last couple of years, our conference has had a group of teams go into the NCAA tournament, but you just don't want to leave it to chance. So, scheduling well in the non-conference always gives you another opportunity to hopefully do well and be able to get that at-large bid.
And the announcement today of the home-and-home with Gonzaga, what does that opportunity mean for your program to face off against a program that has been as consistent as Gonzaga has over the last decade plus?
Well, Gonzaga, as you just said, they've done a tremendous job, in Mark Few's long tenure there of always putting together a team that has a chance to compete for the NCAA tournament championship. And so, anytime you get an opportunity to compete against a team like that, it's a lot of fun for the coaches more so than the players because there's not a lot of words that have to be said on our end.
Yeah.
You just let your guys get out there and get ready to compete. And I'm sure that's a game just like the rest of our games that they'll have, circled on their calendar and they'll be prepared for. So we're really looking forward to that home-and-home series. And I think just like some of these other games that people are starting to announce throughout the country, it's a game that college basketball needs. And it's going to be exciting for our fan base, their fan base, but also for college basketball as a whole.
Chris Acker, San Diego State assistant, with us on John and Jim. It feels a little bit like yesterday, but a long time ago, the national championship game, and now we're already kind of trending towards the next season. What has it felt like for you this offseason, playing all the way into April? Now you guys are practicing again. How's the offseason gone from your perspective?
Well, it was great. Our staff got right to it right after the championship game. The next day we were back in the office and, looking at what we needed to do to build this year's team. And so, we got a little rest, a little gap with our families. And then, like you said, we're back in the gym now and trying to build this team and prepare them for what it's going to take to make that run. I think the beautiful thing about making a run like that and having a game, having an opportunity to play in a national championship game is you continue to get better throughout the course of the season. And so you figure out different things in the NCAA tournament that you might not have known when you get to this part of the year in the summer. And so it just prepares you to be able to have a better summer workout because you realize things that went on in the NCAA tournament you could have gotten better at, things the teams took away. You're playing against the best of the best. And so, it makes you a better coach, but it also helps you prepare your team for to have a more sound and more direct and concrete summer going into the start of the season in August.
And going into this, off season after the national championship game, there was a lot of questions about this roster. Who would be returning? Who would be potentially declaring for the NBA draft? And you have mostly all returning players that were eligible to return. Lamont, Jaden Ledee, Darion, and so looking at this roster now, the vets coming back so far, how have they looked? And just that coming back and all being together after the national championship game, the vibe of the team, how is that right now?
Well, with the veteran guys that are coming back, there's a sense of calmness. There's an understanding of, how long the season is, and they've all gotten better. And so, now they are in position to be the leaders of our program. And as new guys have come into the programs, they've taken it by the helm and they're controlling the tempo, they're controlling the pace, they're controlling the energy that are in practices every single day, and they understand what it takes to, be really, really good. And obviously, not only did we make it to the national championship game, but we won a conference championship and a conference tournament championship. So, and a regional championship. And so these guys are champions. They understand what that means and what's at stake. And, they're not skipping steps. But again, I think the most important thing that I've said is that they've come back better players than they were even at the end of the NCAA tournament. And for us as coaches, that's the most exciting thing, is that as much as we took as coaches from making that tournament run, they took things as players and they've used it to the best of their advantage, and it's made them better.
And that's so exciting, obviously, for Aztec basketball fans as well. The idea of seeing some of these players that reached the national championship game playing even better basketball in 2023-24 is thrilling, honestly. Chris Acker's with us right now, San Diego State men's basketball assistant. So you have a number of newcomers, obviously. It's college basketball. You've added via the portal. You've got a freshman class as well. But I think a lot of Aztec fans are excited about names like Reese Waters and Jay Powell. And I know Jay's only been here for a couple of days, but for those that know the names but haven't seen the players, what are the expectations for Reese Waters and Jay Powell as they get acclimated to this program?
Both of them are extremely competitive guys. Both of them are high IQ basketball guys, and so from that standpoint, they fit in right away. But more so, they're guys that want to win. Reese obviously coming from USC. He knows what it looks like in terms of playing at this level, playing against elite competition. And so his focus and attention to detail on, what he's trying to accomplish individually, but what he's trying to accomplish in terms of helping us as a program is right in line with what we're trying to do every single day. And his focus is just getting better. And Jay Powell, like you said, got here a couple days ago, but he's picked up things right away. And, I think fans are going to fall in love with him because, him and Reese both can play multiple positions, and they're both, really, really good defensive players. And so as good as they do at scoring the basketball, they're equally as competitive on the defensive end. So it fits right into the culture of who we are as a program and what we stand for. So fans are going to be really, really excited to see them.
Coach, a couple other players that fans didn't get to see much of last year, but Dutch has mentioned how they're going to be big parts of this program. Miles Bird and Elijah Saunders. What kind of steps do you want to see them take this year? And what is the program? What are you guys asking of them to contribute this season?
Yeah, I think with Elijah, the biggest thing for him is just to continue to, fill that void from an energy standpoint. Obviously, we'll play a little bit different because he can shoot the basketball at that 4 spot, and we got other guys that are going to be on the perimeter a little bit more. So we'll play a little bit differently than we did last year. And so we'll expect him to make shots, but we'll expect him to be that high-energy guy that, gets on the glass and that is dynamic around the rim. And then with Miles, we expect him to continue to get stronger and just continue to make shots at an elite level. But Miles is a guy that can play multiple positions. He can play the 1, 2, and 3. And so as he continues to grow into his body and continues to understand exactly what it is that we need him to do, he's going to be an all-purpose guy. I mean, he's going to be a high assist guy. He's going to be a rebound guy, and he's going to be a scorer. So both of those guys are going to make an impact and carve their niche on our roster. And, the sky's the limit for both of them, but that's the beauty also of having really, really good players is as coaches, we can talk until we're blue in the face, but it's so competitive in our environment that, the players are bringing the best out of each other. And so when you walk into that practice and you watch them compete on a day-to-day basis, iron is definitely sharpening iron in our gym.
Coach, have you thought at all about how special it's going to be when the team is back on the floor at Viejas Arena to kick off the season? What that's going to mean to Aztec fans? And of course, there'll be a goal of winning the game, but just what that experience is going to be like.
Well, if I'm being honest, you're giving me chills right now. Because, I really haven't put a lot of thought into it. It's kind of like when you ask a question about, what you think about the next opponent.
Right.
And, for coaches, we're just kind of thinking about where we're at this summer and what actions we have in and how they need to play out of that. But I'm so excited for, the fans to be able to see these guys, but also, I'm excited for the guys that left the program, Matt Bradley and, AG and Nathan and Adam Seiko, the guys that, helped us make that run. And so I'm hoping that wherever they are in their respective new teams that they're able to tune in and watch us, hang a couple banners this upcoming season. But it's just well-deserved, and Aztec Nation deserved every bit of it.
What a special year. And, it was an amazing year a year ago, and that doesn't prevent, the sky being the limit again. Upcoming here in 2023, 24. And the beautiful thing, as Aztec fans know about this program, is like these guys are coming in hungry. It's not like Lamont Butler is coming in like, hey, we got to the national championship game, I'm good. I mean, this is a program built on like humbleness and being hungry. So let's see how the Aztecs deal with the success of last year heading into another new year. Coach, it's our pleasure as always. We're excited about the non-conference schedule, opening night, your new players, the entire roster, and we'll do it again later this summer. And thanks as always for your time.
Thanks, Coach.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. I will say this. We did not win the national championship,
right,
and so we will not be settled until that happens.
I love it. Coach, thank you as always.